Alright, everybody. Syncratic. I'm back. We're gonna start off where we left off, kind of. Forgive me if something's a little bit off. I had to rebuild this because I lost everything. Well, not everything. I lost a good deal of stuff. Had some issues. My master boot record got deleted. So, that ended up being quite a pain. But, today we're going to do some really fun stuff. We are going to do some masking and some work with IP adapters. So the first thing you're going to need is to install nodes. You're going to need IP adapter. You're going to need IP adapter plus. And you're going to need this version right here by Cubic. Also known as Mateo. Also known as Latent Vision on YouTube. He is awesome and his work is awesome. Anyway, install that. And then restart Comfy, as usual. I'm going to minimize that real quick. If you didn't know, that button up there, it gets rid of that panel. Whoop. Okay. That was weird. I just finished some coffee. But yeah, we're gonna continue right where we left off. We're going to get an IP adapter. Let's pull an advanced IP adapter. These are pretty good, generally. We're going to get a unified loader. If you don't know how I'm doing this, how I'm just pulling these nodes out of nowhere, I'm double clicking, which brings up the search menu. We're going to attach the model. We're going to attach the IP adapter. And we're going to go with, I'm going to zoom in on this. We're going to go with plus high strength. Now, Vite G medium is good too, but I use plus high strength most of the time. So we're going to leave all this normal, except we're going to average these instead of concatenating them because there's no need. It's going to be one image anyway. Actually, to be fair, concatenating it doesn't really do much anything either because there's only one image. So what this will do is, if you have multiple images that you're putting into the IP adapter, which we'll probably do later, if you concatenate them, it sends all of the images. If you average them, it averages what they look like between all of them, and it sends one image, which can save a lot of VRAM. Normalized average, very similar to average. Subtract, I don't know if I would use because it subtracts images from other images, which I'm pretty sure would leave you with some weird noise. And add will just add them all on top of each other, which could be good depending on what you're doing. Anyway, we are going to grab and a load image node and plop that right in there. We're going to we're going to type in noise, and that's not what I wanted. IP adapter space N will get you the noise, and we're going to just stick that right up here. We're going to plug that into the negative image. You do not need to plug an image into this for it to work. We're going to set it at 0.25. We're going to set the blur at 3, and we're going to set the type to, I don't know, dissolve is fine. Pretty much whatever is fine. But as I said, we're doing masking. But to do that, we have to have something to mask. So we need a get node here to grab the model, specifically the model from animate diff. See, model underscore AD. That is the model from animate diff, because you want the model from animate diff to go to the IP adapter. We're just going to leave this get model up here. That way we can change it if we want to just bypass animate diff. We're going to leave the strength at 0.75 to start out with. Not point, you know what? 0.57. We'll see what that does. And we're going to add a set node. We're going to call this one model IPA1, because we're probably going to add more than one IPA. That can get hidden, and then we'll just make a group for these and call it IPA1 or in-painting adapter 1 or IP adapter 1, whatever you want to go by. But what it is an in-painting adapter. So then we're going to pull up just pull this right over here. We're going to pull up an image of a Viking woman. I don't know what it is with me and Viking women, but that's what I want to generate right now. So here we have this. That's not really going to do very well. It's not. That's all the stuff draping off of her would be very difficult to recreate. Could be done, but it would be difficult. This is not exactly what I wanted. Let's go with full body. Viking woman, full body. So that will give me a better picture of a Viking woman. That's definitely AI and not particularly good either. That's messy. All right. What do we got here? Oh, there we go. There's a Viking woman. That is also AI, but we're going to copy that. Going to go back into Comfy, click on this node and hit Control V to paste it. And now we got to make a mask. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to grab Coco. Coco is a segmenter, and I will show you what it does here in 1 second. I think it comes with Comfy, but I'm not sure. It does. It is native to Comfyui, so you don't need to download it out of the manager or whatever. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to add a get node, and we're going to get from the video. We're going to plug it right in here. And for now, we're going to disable, where the crap did I put it? Disable the K sampler so it doesn't run through. We're going to disable the IP adapter so it doesn't run. And we're going to pull this noodle out and get a preview image. We're also going to limit the frame load cap over here to 30, which means it will only load 30 frames. And we're going to cue the prompt. Now it's going to run through Coco, and it's going to segment out the image. Now this isn't going to give us a mask, but it's going to give us something that we can use as a mask. Shouldn't take long at all. Cool. So now we have what can very easily be a mask. We have this blue, and that color from the sand. But what we're interested in is this right here. This is what we're interested in. We're interested in masking out the person. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. We're going to get a color to mask node, which, if I'm not mistaken, is also native to Comfyui. We're going to plug this in, and we're going to add the values of that red, which is 220, 20, and 60. I know this off the top of my head because I've done this quite a bit. So now we're going to take that mask, and we're going to plug it right into the IP adapter. Right into the attention mask, or we're gonna make a set and a get node, which is better. So we're gonna call this mask underscore Coco. We're just gonna leave this node as it is for a second because we're gonna do something cool with it also here in a second. So now that we have a mask and an IP adapter, we need the K sampler to get its model. I don't know why I buried the get model. we need it to get its model from the IP adapter, because that's the model pipeline that we want to go through. We want it to go from here, from the model loader to animate diff, to the IP adapter, and then from the IP adapter to the K sampler. So we're going to grab model IPA1 and we're going to run it. It's going to take a second to load. Should actually load pretty quick. It's going to run through depth and canny edge, both of which are at 0.35, because we don't want to run them real high, because all of that conditioning is going to stack, and you don't want a ton of conditioning if you want your image to come out good, if you want it to look good, if you want it to not be a mess. This should render fairly quickly. Let's see how fast it's running. It's running at 4.51 seconds per iteration. I'd say that's pretty fast for animate diff. And look at that. We have a Viking woman on the beach. It's pretty. Red hair and everything. Did pretty good. Now, this basically made what she was wearing into armor and left her skin. Not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of like it. It's a nice look. It's a good animation. But we can do better. So now we're going to add a node called grow mask. If I can type, grow mask with blur. What we're going to do is we're going to take that, take this, we're going to plug this into here, and we're going to expand the mask just a little bit. Say we'll expand it by 3. We're going to blur the radius by 5, and we're going to leave the rest to animate diff to see what it does. So now, it should run through this pretty quick. It really only needs 4 steps, but I've given it 6. I should probably turn that down. LCM models are absolutely excellent. I love LCM models. So fast. So much faster than regular animate diff. So, grow mask with blur node helped a little bit. Like you can see that it's starting to put clothes on her arms, and it's starting to put clothes on her head, which is kind of okay. So let's expand the mask by 10, and we'll get rid of the tapered corners, and we'll blur the radius by 10. See what that does. So all this is doing is telling Comfyui, take this image and put it specifically on this person. So it's not exactly copy and pasting. So you can see now it's definitely starting to pick up and add more armor. So because we've got that mask and that blur, maybe Viking woman wearing armor on the beach. The prompt might actually do the rest for us. And while this is doing its thing, make another node. We're going to make a set node, and we're going to call this mask Cocoa inverted. And we're going to plug this into the mask inverted node, or the mask inverted output, or whatever you want to call it. So this little noodle right here that comes off of mask inverted to be set as mask Cocoa inverted. Oh, is it done already? It is done. It's doing better too. Better armor. Yeah, it's working. It's cool. Alright, we'll add more expand rate. Let's expand it by 25. And blur the radius by 25. And we're going to get rid of the decay factor. We're going to run that. And while we do that, we're going to grab this IPA, Control C, Control V, so we're going to copy it. We're going to paste it. We're going to take this set model, and we're going to call it, we're going to change this name to IPA 2. It doesn't really seem to be getting the armor. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut down the strength of Canny to 0.15. We're going to cut down the strength of the depth control net to 0.15. We're going to change that to outdoor. So that might be part of it. We're going to run this real quick while we're doing that. Stretch this out a bit. Hold Control, not Shift. Click and drag. Add group. Group title. Rename IPA 2. So now IPA 2 is going to get its model from, you guessed it, IPA 1. And K-Sampler is going to get its model from IPA 2. Oh, yeah, that's much better. We lost some cohesion, but we gained armor. Man, did we gain some armor. All right. So, why don't we change this right here? Or we can just add another control net. Move this down here for a second, because this is going to be our basic masking node. At least for now. Pull off this control net stack, or we can just... now we'll build it. Pull off this control net stack, grab another control net stacker, pull off of this control net, get a loader advanced. We're going to load open pose. And we're going to grab DW pose estimator. We're going to plug DW pose estimator into the control net stacker. I don't understand why that needs a model. What? I seem to have somehow screwed this up. Not entirely sure why, but we'll pull this off and we'll get control net loader advanced. Okay, diff control. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'm gonna have to look into that now. Now I'm curious. All right. So now we have an open pose control net. And we need to add a get node, and we need to get video. Because it's got to pull off of something. Grab this. Make that a little bit smaller. Grab this. Add group for selected nodes. Open pose control net. Alright. So we're going to add open pose. Open pose you can leave at 1, and it's fine. Okay, that might throw an error. I've never used that one. That is a pickle tensors file. But we'll see what this does. Oh, no, 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 no! I forgot a step. I forgot a step. Brain, come on, brain. Let's go. Alright, we need a field of flowers. We'll grab something that looks somewhat like an ocean. Gonna grab that, minimize this, Control V, and then over here, it needs an attention mask. Oh man, they both need attention masks because I didn't set get nodes for them. Wow, I feel dumb now. Told you guys I was going to teach you masking, and look at what I did. Some dumb stuff. Alright, mask Coco. Mask Coco inverted. So the inverted mask is going to be everything that is not part of the actual mask. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a mask to image, convert mask to image. We're going to copy that, Control C, Control V. We're going to pull this noodle down here, and we're going to pull this noodle down here. So this is going to be what the inverted mask is going to look like, and this is going to be what the regular mask is going to look like. So there's a preview image. There's another preview image. Remember, this one is the inverted one. Now we're going to run it. That way I can show you guys multiple things at the same time. So, as you can see, that's the expanded blurred mask. Might have expanded it and blurred it a little bit too much, but hey, you know, it'll be kind of nice. And here is also the expanded blurred reverse of the mask, or what do you want to call it, the inverted mask. Now this is probably going to look a lot better. The background is going to look like this, or at least something like that, and the foreground, or the character, is going to look like this. It is already almost done. Let's see how it's running. 6.04 seconds per iteration. Not bad. Man, does it like video. It does not like... Oh! I screwed up the prompt. Yeah, I forgot. This is why I make these videos, so you guys can see me mess up at literally everything all the time. Not on the beach. In a field of flowers. Can't even spell field right. In a field of flowers. Viking woman, comma, wearing armor, comma, in a field of flowers. All right. And of course, nude and NSFW in the in that down there, the negative prompt, just to make sure. So what we've done is create a node based on segmentation that creates masks. And it can grow and shrink the masks and adjust them. We're going to take this and we're going to move it right over here. Let's stretch it out a little bit. Going to hide set mask Coco and hide set mask Coco inverted. Because these are masks coming from Coco. So it's good to name them after the node that they're coming from. I'm going to pull this up top. Since this is the alpha, or the white channel. I guess you could call it an alpha mask because it's black and white. And this is the inverted alpha mask. We're going to add group for selected nodes. Title, Coco Masks. Alright, so now we have a pretty decent masking node. We have our Viking girl in armor. She's got halfway decent continuity, I'd say. I mean, it's not the most perfect thing I've ever seen, but you know, it's working. And it's working fairly quickly. Like, the background's a little shifty, but she is very solid. Now you can stabilize the background a number of different ways, but that's for another video. This has been basic masking and IP adapters. I feel like that's probably more than enough to cover in Wizarding 104. So, happy wizarding, and I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you in the next one.